The air smells like cinnamon and paper. I push the door of a tiny bookstore, and the bell ting-tings like it's happy to see me. Outside, it's cold and white, but inside, warm, full of postcards. Some with snowmen, some with city lights, some with funny penguins. I take one and smile. You know that feeling when you want to send a piece of winter to someone? Yeah, that one. I remind myself, we say pick out when we choose something from many options. So I start to pick out postcards. One for my best friend, one for my coworker, one for my old teacher, one for a friend I argued with, and one just for someone who needs a little joy. The shop owner waves from behind the counter, and I wave back. That's how we say hello without words, to wave back. It's simple, friendly, a little shy. The postcards are glossy and they shine under the yellow light. I love that word shine. It means to reflect light, but it also means to look happy or bright. These cards do both. I reach for penguin one, my favorite. We use reach for when we stretch our hand to get something, like I'm doing now, trying not to knock over a candle. My hands are cold, but the colors make me feel warm. I take a look at the price tag. That phrase means to check quickly. It's not expensive, so I nod to myself and keep going. There's a soft song playing in the background. I hum along just a little. That means to make a quiet sound with your lips, not really singing, just being part of the moment. I count out some coins at the register. That means to separate them one by one, and the sound is small but satisfying. When I step back outside, the air bites again, but I'm holding 5 tiny promises of connection, and I can't wait to write. I sit by the window with my coffee and a pile of postcards. The steam curls up, and everything feels quiet, like the world is waiting for me to start. My first one is for Sarah, my best friend. A friendly letter should sound easy, right? But somehow, my mind goes blank. We say, come up with, when we try to think of an idea. I try to come up with a nice opening line. Hi, Sarah. Hope you're doing well. Too basic. Hey, girl. Too much. I laugh. Finding the right tone is harder than I thought. I remember, we usually start off friendly letters with something warm and simple. So I start off with, hope you're staying warm and cozy. That sounds more like me. Then I go on to tell her about my week. That means I continue. I mention my morning walks and how the snow makes everything look like a movie set. You know what I mean? When the world suddenly looks softer, slower. I write, cross out, write again. When you cross out something, you draw a line through it. My page looks like a little battlefield of half phrases and coffee rings. At some point, I look up from the card. We say that when we raise our eyes from what we're doing and notice the light outside turning orange. Time flies when you write by hand. I lean back in my chair. That means to rest against the back of it and reread the letter. It's short, sweet, and real. And that's how friendly letters should be, like a conversation that fits in your hand. I smile. 1 down, 4 to go. And my coffee's getting cold, but I'm just getting started.
My second postcard waits right in front of me, the thank you one. I take a sip of coffee and smile. This one's for my coworker who saved my project last week. Writing a thank you card sounds simple, but it's tricky to make it sound honest, not robotic. I remind myself, we say thank someone for something, not thank to. So I write, thank you for helping me when I was totally lost. That feels true. When you mean it, when you're honest, people can feel it, even on paper. I put down my mug, that means to place it on the table, and grab my pen again. I try to keep it short. That's a good rule for thank you notes. Short, warm, specific. But then my hand shakes a little. A drop of coffee jumps out and lands on the card. Great. I spill my coffee. That word means liquid goes everywhere. I grab a napkin and wipe off the stain. We use wipe off when we clean a surface, but the paper's already ruined. I laugh and tear up the card, not from sadness, I promise. Tear up means to rip it into pieces. Guess I'll have to write an even better one, I say to myself. So I start over. That means begin again on a new postcard. This time I write slower. My letters are round and calm. It feels almost like meditation. When I finally finish, I set aside the new thank you card. That means to place it separately to keep it safe. 2 postcards done, 3 left. I stretch my arms and grin. Who knew gratitude could be this messy and this nice at the same time? The next one is for my old teacher, my greeting card. It should sound cheerful, kind, and a little formal. I look at the snowflake design and smile. Perfect match. I take out my pen again. That means I remove it from my pencil case and think about what to say. We usually begin with a warm wish, so I write, wishing you a peaceful winter and a bright new year. It feels classic, not too much, not too little. Then I add in a short memory. I still remember your lessons about staying curious. We say add in when we include something extra, like a small gift of words. I look through my old notebook for ideas. That means to check the pages quickly. It's funny how many phrases we forget until we see them again. Stay curious. I like that one. I reach into a drawer to find stamps. That phrase means I put my hand inside something to get what I need. Instead, I find old receipts, stickers, even a paper heart from last Valentine's Day. Chaos, basically. Finally, I come across a small pack of snowflake stamps. We use come across when we find something by accident. They're shiny and perfect. I stick on the first one carefully. Stick on means to attach something with glue or a sticky surface. I sit back and admire the card. Simple, graceful, full of quiet light. You know that feeling when something looks exactly how you imagined it? Yeah, that tiny, satisfying yes inside your chest. That's this moment. 3 postcards down. I sip the last of my cold coffee and whisper, next one's the hard one. The 4th postcard stares at me from the table. The apology letter. I take a deep breath. You ever notice how saying sorry feels heavier on paper? It's like your heart travels through the ink. I pick up the pen. That means to lift it and just sit there for a second. What should I write first? We usually start with something honest, not dramatic. So I write, I'm sorry if I hurt you. Simple, quiet, true. Then I go over the sentence. That means to read it again, carefully. It feels okay. I add one more line. I miss our talks. That's enough. Sometimes fewer words say more. I pause for a moment. That's how we describe taking a small break and look out the window. Snowflakes slide down the glass, slow and soft. I think back to the day we argued. We say, think back to when we remember something from the past. It still hurts a little, but not as much now. I write down my name at the bottom. That phrase means to put words on paper. Then I fold up the postcard gently before slipping it into its envelope. Fold up means to bend something neatly. My cat jumps onto the table and knocks over a pen. We say knock over when something falls because you hit it accidentally. I laugh. Perfect timing, as always. I put away the letter with the others. Put away means to move something to its place. 4 postcards and 4 moves. Friendly, thankful, hopeful, and sorry. 1 left. The one that's not about me at all. I stretch, pour fresh coffee, and whisper, "Okay, Ellie, time to write from the heart."
The last postcard is soft blue, calm, almost quiet. It's my support letter for a friend who's been struggling lately. I take a deep breath. That means I stop and calm down and remind myself, this one isn't about advice, it's about comfort. I start writing slowly. We say start writing when we begin to put words on paper. You don't have to be strong every day. I write. Just breathe. I love the word breathe. It even sounds like air moving through a small smile. I keep going, adding, winter ends, always. It just takes time. Keep going means to continue, even when it feels hard. I look down at my words. That means my eyes move toward the page, and they suddenly feel warmer than the room itself. I read over the whole card. Read over means to check carefully, and not. It's simple, maybe too simple, but that's the point. Sometimes a few quiet words are all someone needs. I line up all 5 postcards on the table. Line up means to place them neatly in a row, and smile. Friendly, thankful, hopeful, sorry, supportive. My winter and 5 pieces of paper. I bundle up in my coat and scarf. That means to dress warmly and step outside. The night is still, the air white and sharp. Snowflakes drift down. That means they fall slowly, like they're dancing. My pockets are full of small paper hearts. At the corner, the orange light of the post machine glows softly. I open up the little door and drop in the postcards. Those verbs mean to make something open and let things fall inside. They disappear, one by one, with a quiet click. When the last one's gone, I stand still in the cold, breathing out a small cloud. My fingers are freezing, but my chest feels light. 5 letters, 5 voices, 5 ways to say, I care. And somehow, winter finally feels human.
That's it. All 5 postcards are gone. But somehow, it doesn't feel like an ending. I walk back home. That means I return on foot, with snow crunching under my boots. The air smells like pine and coffee from the cafe across the street. Everything feels still, but alive. I think about each postcard. Think about means to reflect or remember. One friendly, one thankful, one hopeful, one sorry, one kind. 5 moods of winter, all written in my messy handwriting. I pull off my gloves when I get home. That means I remove them and hang up my coat. The apartment is quiet, except for the soft hum of the heater. I light up a candle, that means to make it burn, and watch the flame flicker. I sit down by the window with a blanket on my shoulders. Outside, the snow keeps falling. We say keeps falling when something continues again and again. It feels endless, but peaceful. I pick up my empty mug, that means I lift it, and laugh a little. I've been writing all evening, and somehow I feel lighter, like I've mailed away some of my own thoughts, too. I look out into the night, that means my eyes move toward the outside, and imagine the postcards traveling across the city, finding their people, carrying small sparks of warmth. And as I curl up in my chair, we say that when we sit comfortably and small, I whisper to myself, maybe that's the magic of letters. You send out kindness, and it always finds a way back.